There are a few things that can reset your soul, like getting away from your daily routine and spending time exploring, bonding with your kids, and fellowshipping with brand new friends. This spring, I decided to embark on my biggest overland journey yet, a 5-day, 400-mile adventure from Alabama to South Carolina across the Georgia Traverse. They say a great story includes a hero's journey, the main character overcoming some massive obstacle to win the day. In short, there needs to be a sense that the hero could fail, that things could go wrong, and when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And in overlanding, that's just par for the course. But what happens when things don't go wrong? When you simply must go and the going is, well, simple. When it makes you appreciate your friends and family even more and leaves you feeling transformed, and you're left with a sense of gratitude that God gave you some time to create new memories, bond with your teenage boys, and make new lifelong friends. Well, I'll tell you what happens. This was a guy's trip. My 2 teenage sons, Cameron and Will, joined me for a 5-day epic spring break adventure. The Georgia Traverse had been on my bucket list for a while, and we knew this adventure would give us everything we wanted, but I didn't know it would also give us everything we needed. We also met up with some new friends, Dee and his son Carver, who have a YouTube channel called Carving Up the Trails. We started our 6-hour drive from South Carolina to Dalton, Georgia, starting our trip on the Alabama side of the Georgia Traverse and working our way back to South Carolina. From research, we expected that the trip would get progressively more exciting as we headed east, and we wanted to end on high notes and have a relatively short drive home once it was finished. We knew the stretch from Alabama to Dalton was mostly blacktop, and after a long day of driving, we decided to start the trail in Dalton so we could get to our campsite relatively early.
According to my Gaia GPS, we are now officially on the Georgia Traverse.
That is correct. We are on dirt. We are now officially overlanders. It looked like a storm was on its way, a theme that would chase us all the way across Georgia. An easy wind campsite would give us a chance to set up and spend some time together before the real adventure began the next morning. While this site wasn't the most picturesque campsite, it was relatively quick, easy, and free, which worked perfectly for us for the first night as our 2 groups got to know each other. This is a forestry campsite, but it's free. It's really nice. It's right on the creek here, so we're not alone necessarily, but given how tired we were from just driving from basically Columbia through Atlanta to Dalton. It's a long day. We just wanted to kind of get settled in, get kind of acclimated to being on this trip, get to know Dee and Carver a little bit because, you know, the boys had never met any of them. And so this is a chance for us to kind of bond without having to do a lot of extra work. So it's been really nice so far. I will say it's a little windy out and it's been raining a lot. And I'm hoping that that doesn't continue through the night. It shouldn't. We'll probably have some wind, but hopefully no rain tonight. As Dee and I set up our prospective camps, the boys quickly took to bonding over RC off-roading. As a dad, one thing I had running through my mind was this was really the boys' first trip. They'd done one overnight camping trip with me before, but nothing quite like this. I wanted to make this time exciting for them and make sure that we had some quality time around camp. Luckily, our camp neighbor had just the thing. So our awesome camp neighbors told us that just around the corner here is a great waterfall. So before dinner, we're actually taking a quick little 1-minute hike to check out this waterfall. And that is gonna make today, it's gonna be a nice ending to today, I think. Yeah, this is like a legit waterfall. This is awesome. This is a cool little trail. And it's like just right off the campsite. It's like 1 minute. That's all it takes to get over here. This area was once heavily mined for gold and gems. Dee pointed out these quartz veins in the rock, Early prospectors would look at these veins because it was a great sign that gold, emeralds, and rubies might be found. We were off to a great start, and as we bonded around the campfire, we were all excited to see what tomorrow would bring. Good morning. It's nice and early. It's a little chilly, but not cold. It was a great night last night. Everything went well. No rain, no wind, good sleep. So we are ready for today. The plan for today is to do the Big Frog Loop. That's going to take us most of the day based on all the calculations and timing and things like that. So we'll do the Big Frog Loop and then we'll find camp shortly after that. But I'm really excited about today. So we're going to make breakfast, tear down camp, and then hit the road. A few days before we got here, a massive storm system blew its way across upper Georgia, and one of our big concerns on this trip was going to be dealing with downed trees. We knew it was more of a matter of when and not if. The signs of the recent storm were all around us, and it wasn't long before we started thinking trees might become an issue. Thankfully, we weren't the first to have come this way, and most of the trees we passed had already been cut. It was a tight fit, but the trail was just wide enough to let us pass. Eventually, we found one we couldn't get around. I was wondering when we were going to come across a downed tree, though this one came down and someone's cut it, but they didn't really cut it wide enough. So I don't know if they were just on an ATV or something like that, or a four-wheeler or something, but anyway, we're going to cut the rest of it so the Jeeps can actually get through. All right, chainsaw came in helpful.
Close my eyes, you're looking back at me. As real as autumn air, I take and breathe. Try as you might, but you can't.
As we headed up the mountain around Big Frog Loop, the trail began to get wetter and started to give us more ruts and washouts. These were more fun than challenging, but it made for a little bit of a slower pace.
All right, we have had an awesome time on the trail so far. The trail getting up here has been fantastic. It hasn't been so crazy hard, but it's definitely been fun. Lots of little rocks and ruts and things like that. So it's definitely been a fun trail. We're up at the Hemp Top Trail now, the trailhead, for lunch because it's about midday. So we're gonna eat and then we're gonna hit the road again and get back, finish up the rest of Big Frog Loop, and then camp on the other side of the trail there. So, been an awesome day. Really looking forward to the rest of this trail. Carver and Dee have been awesome. We've just been having a great time, and the kids have really liked it. So, today has totally been a win. Everything's been great so far. I'm really excited about it. And I'm really excited about getting to camp nice and early so that we don't have to do all this stuff in the dark.
The terrain was slow and bumpy, but just when it started to feel like it was never going to end, we got a glimpse of just how majestic the Appalachian Mountains can be. The Georgia Traverse has a way of reminding us that there is a deeper beauty to be found if you just take the time to look for it.
There is none more beautiful than you to me.
It was getting to be a long day, and we'd been on the trail for almost 8 hours. And Dee and I made the decision to find a campsite sooner rather than later. Our bellies were rumbling and the kids were ready for a break, and truth be told, so were we.
All right, it has been a long day. We have pulled into camp. We're staying at a forestry campsite again, just because we spent 8 hours on the trail today. We're all exhausted and we wanted to get in while there was still some sunlight to get set up. And I'm super glad we did, because as we were setting things up, we looked in the trailer and the trailer is soaked because the jug of water that we had in there, I guess, leaked a lot. And now that we have a waterproof trailer, it's all just in there. And so everything in there was wet from that top coming off and leaking and getting bounced around. And so it's kind of a mess that I'm trying to figure out how to deal with, but at least I'm dealing with it in the light. I've already soaped up a lot of the water, but this guy right here, this blue Walmart jug, failed me. This thing right here apparently was not tight and bounced off, and then just that trail was super bumpy and it just sloshed water all over the place and made a huge mess. I'm really disappointed in that, but it is what it is, I guess. Not much I can do about it but try to clean it up and keep things as dry as possible. So that's what I'm doing, and everyone else is finishing setting up camp. So we're all very hungry. It's been a long day, and I got spicy chicken fajita quesadilla kind of thing going on. The kids like it as a quesadilla. I'm probably gonna have it as like a burrito. But anyway, spicy chicken quesadilla fajita stuff for us. All right, so what's on the dinner menu for you guys tonight?
We're going simple. We're doing hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Tomorrow we'll do shrimp foil packets, but hot dogs tonight.
While dinner is cooking, I guess I should walk you around camp, because we've got a bunch of different stuff going on with the rigs, and let you meet Dee and Carver. So first of all, we got the Southlander, we've got the Outland Motor Works rooftop tent and awning. I don't have the awning out tonight, I don't really need it. We've got Dee and his Gladiator back there, but we also have the trailer. You've seen that. So that's Littlefoot, the Jurassic Park trailer, with another Outland Motor Works rooftop tent. What's great about Outland Motor Works is they let you rent tents, so you can try them before you buy them. So this is actually a rental rooftop tent that we got for this trip so we could put it on Littlefoot, and it's worked out really, really well to have that. I'm really glad we did that. But yeah, go check out Outland Motor Works, because you can rent rooftop tents so that you can try before you buy, or if it's just like a one-time thing and you just need to rent a tent for a couple of days, that's a solution. Go check it out. So despite some of the setbacks with wet gear, we've actually had a fantastic trip so far, a fantastic night. Camp here, even though we're at another sort of free forestry site, and there are people around, but there's no one really close, and our spot feels fairly secluded. We're right up against the river here, so and there's some waterfallish kind of rapids. It's tiny, but it's there and you can hear it, and so it just feels very calm and very nice and very secluded. So that's great. This was an easy button again tonight because it had been a long day. It took us 8 hours to drive 51 miles. So we're a little tired. We got bounced around a lot today, but it was great. It was a lot of fun. Had a great time. Tomorrow we got to finish the loop, and then we're going to go do some other sort of side trails to the Georgia Traverse. Assuming that timing all works out, we've got to go into town to get some more supplies and some more fuel because we're both starting to run a little bit low. We definitely don't have enough to get us through all day tomorrow and then gas on Thursday. So we're going to hopefully get to a gas station before we run into issue. I've got 2 Roto packs with me as backup, but that's all the spares that we've got at the moment. So gas is going to become a priority tomorrow for sure, as well as getting some other supplies because we just couldn't bring an entire week's worth of stuff with us. So we're going to have to get some more supplies. Hopefully it all works out, and there's going to be some awesome trails and some water crossings tomorrow. I'm really pumped about it. So stay tuned. Keep watching. It's going to be a good one. I'm very low on gas. And we're just trying to survive this. We are up at the top of this ridge. We are the highest thing around, so if we're getting thunder and lightning, it's not a place that we want to be.